Hey there, YouTube followers. Michael of Painting War Games. So, had the day off. Gonna actually have tomorrow off too. But I went to my local Games Workshop store, talked with a guy. Ended up getting another kit. Devastators. Gotta love 'em. Still not too many ideas on the painting scheme. I'm probably gonna have the heads blue and do like the red up the center of the head. But decided to get that. And I actually got a game in. This is the second game of the year for me. The first game with Blood Angels, and I'll tell you my list because I have it written down right here. I had a Sanguinary Priest with Jump Pack, Thunderhammer, Plasma Pistol. I had two tactical squads with 10 guys, Melta, Heavy Flamer, Power Sword, Plasma Pistol. I had a 5-man squad of Sanguinary Guard, and that had 2 of the axes in it. So 3 glaives, 2 axes. I had a Death Company Dreadnought with Blood Talons, and I had just a regular Terminator squad. Pretty sure that was 1,000 points right there. So it was a really good game. I was playing against Imperial Guard. There was a Vendetta, or a Valkyrie, 2 Basilisk, 2 another tank that I don't know. There's so many Imperial Guard tanks, and then a Turox, and then they had he had 2 veteran squads. So my MVPs of the game were the Sanguinary Guard with the priest. We were playing Maelstrom Mission 1, so it's table quarters, and I just ran the Sanguinary Guard up and assaulted a first Bastion, and I'm like, at least a Thunderhammer will do something. But Bastion had rear armor 10, and on the charge I was strength 5, so I was glancing on 5s and penetrating on 6s, and for the amount of for the amount of attacks I had on the charge, it was 3 per guy on the charge, so it was a lot of attacks on the charge. I just kept on mowing through guys. I kept mowing through Bastions, or Basilisks. Maybe that's it. It's the long artillery tank. So I went through one, I went to the next, and then I found his little tank squad, and I assaulted the tank squad and killed that off in 1 round of combat. It only took me 1 round of combat to kill each of the tanks. The 3 Sanguinary Guard with the glaives normally did 1 or 2 hull points each, or 1 or 2 hull points between the 9 of them, or between the 9 attacks, which in math is kind of bad, but it worked out in my favor. And then the Sanguinary Priest would come in there with his Thunderhammer and lay the smackdown. The only time that the axes ever saw any action were in the 2 group tank squad, where there are 6 hull points between the 2, 6 or 8 hull points between the 2 tanks. I think it was 6 hull points between the 2. The glaives put 2 on there, or put 3 on there, killed one of the tanks outright. The Thunderhammer guy came in, did his 1 hull point because they only had 3 attacks, and then the axes came in and did the rest. They did 2 hull points. So those are definitely my MVP. I mean, I stuck the Sanguinary Priest in there to give them feel no pain, because they have 2+ armor save. So I was just like, I'm going to test this. This is a really expensive unit, and I really did well. He focused all his firepower on the Dreadnought, and he killed that turn 1. I expect Dreadnought not even last. Death Company Dreadnought not even last a full turn. And the tactical squads, I mean, even the tactical squads did fairly well. The one that isn't painted got nuked turn 1 by Bastion fire, but that's to be expected, being out in the open. I had 1 lone Terminator just sort of chill out. He had 1 left on the board, and he was going around just sniping the little guardsmen from squads, and 1 guardsman charged him, didn't get any wounds, and I power fisted him off the board. But yeah, I'm really surprised with how good the tactical squads did. I never got a shot off with the heavy flamers. No, I did get a shot off very last shot of the game. for me was a heavy flamer shot. Killed 4 veteran guys. Not bad. Meltaguns really didn't do a whole lot in this game. I shot at the Vendetta once. It missed. I mean, the assaulting was my key to winning. Like, I assaulted the Turoks, one of the Turoks with my Space Marine Sergeant with Power Sword Plasma Pistol, and because it's rear 10, 3 attacks on the charge, I 2 hit, 2 wound. So I'm not doing too bad. I really like this game. Oh, I mean, I really like this army so far. It's small for what I have. It's small, but it's powerful. For 1,000 points, I did pretty well. And now, I didn't have any anti-mech, but the Sanguinary Guard at Strength 5 did pretty well. Did actually exceptionally well against rear armor 10 vehicles. Which is why I bought Devastator Squad today. Because I'm going to make it is 2 plasma cannons and 2 las cannons. Because in the future I'm planning on getting another set, which I'll have 2 las cannons, 2 plasma cannons. And then I'll, when I go to field them, I'll have 1 squad of just plasma cannons and 1 squad of just las cannons. So, it's really good. I like them. This is going to be my anti-mech answer for the moment, except for my Dreadnought. And the Dreadnought, if he could get into close combat with a tank, he will. And he'll rip it to shreds. But I'm trying to make this army flexible. Guys, with my Salamanders, it was like a really stagnant army. It was like, it was a gunline army, and it didn't work well for what I needed it to. Granted, some of the things I did with that army did work well. Having twin-linked Melta is never a bad idea, but I like the Blood Angels. Strength 5 on the charge with Furious Charge, and with the Bloodthirst, or the special rule. If you're in formation, you get +1 to your initiative. It works really well. And, he was wanting to test out his new Imperial Guard 1,000-point list. I was like, here's 1,000 points of Blood Angels. It's only because I couldn't understand the Necron Codex. Like, I got really frustrated that I couldn't figure out a piece of kit to give my Destroyer Lord a 2+ save. And it was in the old book, and maybe I glossed over it, but I was like looking at Necrons, and I was like, what, screw it, here's Blood Angels. And I fielded stuff how I wanted it, and it worked really well. Now, would I take the Priest with Thunderhammer, Plasma Pistol, Jump Pack next time? I don't know. He did very well for what he did, but he's really just in there for a cheap HQ choice. Like, I'm always going to give him a Jump Pack. For 75 points, he's a great HQ choice that gives feel no pain to the squad. So, alright guys, I'm going to try to take a breakdown off of painting Blood Angels, just because I cranked out the tactical squad. I got a comment on the last video about how I didn't like the, how that red Macragge red primer came out and it made this stuff clumpy. Here's the answer to the guy, because I've been reading all the comments. Oh, and I'm sorry, Harry, for not responding, but happy birthday, man. Sorry, I forgot, but happy birthday, happy belated birthday to you, man. This guy had, now to go back to the other person, this guy was like, oh, you sure there wasn't any oil on the miniatures? You should be washing your miniatures. Yeah, you wash resin miniatures. I've never washed any plastic miniatures. I take very good care of my hands. Like, I wash my hands before I build stuff. I make sure I don't get oil near my building area. So oil was not a factor in that. And there wasn't any catalyst unless it came on the miniatures. And I even asked my GW guy, and he's like, dude, you don't have to wash the plastic miniatures. He's like, resin and fine cast and, other stuff, yes, you have to wash them. But not plastic miniatures. So to that guy, I have to say, yeah, it was the primer's fault. I prime my models all the same way. I have Chaos Riders right here, or Cavalry that I prime gray. I'm gonna prime the Devastator Squad gray. I've went out and bought a gallon of the Simple Green, and I'm going to try to get that primer off of the Tactical Squad, and I'm probably going to start that tomorrow once I start working on my aquariums again. As you see, the one in the back has a lot of algae on it, but yeah, I'm going to try stripping it, and, you know, I'll do what I have to. I'll reprime them gray, and I'm going to rock them. You know, that's how it's going to be. I think gray primer is going to be the way to go. I know it's really time consuming for me to base them red, or prime them gray and then base them red, but, you know, I think in the long run it'll work out better. So, alright guys, this is Michael Penny Williams. I'm signing out, and as always, keep gaming.